The Colorful Foresight, where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo woo time, where we connect our woo woo into our mundane living. Hello, how are you? This is Sylvia, Colorful Foresight, and today we have Aley from Heart and Soul Connected.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Sylvia. Yeah.
It's funny. I was making.
Yeah, we're on. Did you think we weren't
Okay.
on? Okay, we're on.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah?
I had a YouTube on, of course. Gotta hear myself twice. Who wants to hear ourselves twice? That's just horrible.
Your face was so.
So is that a message for us, guys? I mean, by the way,
Maybe.
I see you. You see them? Don't you see your people in there? I see them. One of them
Oh,
having
there they
coffee.
are. There they are. Yeah, I see them.
One of you have your. Don't take off your clothes. You think we can't see you, but we can. Wait till after. I know you think we can see you, but we can. We're intuitive. No, it's
We're,
just
and she
I
has
wouldn't want to
colorful foresight. She has colorful foresight, so you know she dreams in color.
By the way, I wouldn't want to be that in tune. I don't want to be like that in tune.
I
Not
get it.
my business.
Too intrusive. Too intrusive. That's right. That's right.
So let's see. We got hello everybody in the audience.
Yeah.
You know, we got these are her friends: Craig, Kay, Ziggy, Teresa, Sharon, Scorpio Mama, Clarence Field.
Yes.
So,
Thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Just to let you know, we're going to be sharing fun miracle, but it's not just about us. So when you listen to us, we want you're going to get triggered. Something's going to come up. And you could share it, just share it. Kind of hard to type it up, but just do it in a brief way.
Uh-huh.
So, because it's all about you. Because remember, even though I can't see you without your clothes on, thank God, I can still see you. So you better be careful and behave. So what is woo woo even for me? Woo woo even for me, it's like just because I've been into this 30 years plus. Some of you maybe just awakened recently. Never get boring. And then when it does get boring for me, that's usually a lesson I need to learn, So what do you think about that?
I agree with you 100%. I remember that probably 20 years ago, whatever I would say, a couple of people would always say, "Oh, you're just one of those woo-woo people. You live out there in the in the twilight zone or whatever." And I'm like, "No, really, it's you're using your intuition. You're recognizing that which is around you. And you don't have to physically see it with your eyes. You can know it with your heart." And there's still people that feel that way. And that's funny. Okay. That's their deal. Yeah.
If everybody knew that, they actually use intuition. It's probably the same line with psychic, but psychic sometimes it's more like you work at it, or sometimes it's in your family line, so you might be naturally more,
right,
or it's in your path. But truth is, everybody's intuitive. Think of what they call it, cop have hunch, right? Business people have what they call it, gut feeling kind of thing.
Gut feeling about something, yeah. Right? And us women, we tend to really follow it more than the men do, although the men can do it. Yeah.
Hi, Warrior Girl. How are you?
Warrior Girl. Yeah. And Jessica Lynn, how are you, honey?
So, good to see you. When I started the channel, I just wanted to bring up look, there's millions of channels. This is nothing new. Spiritual work, intuition, all that. But to realize it's really not just for us who are into this and into the woo-woo. It's like everybody has intuition. If anybody who said no, it's either because they're programmed or their ego, tell them, only I, not for everybody. But I just want to let you know, I told Aley about this. It's not a video about tarot, but I'm only going to show one card. I just want to show it to you for the visual. Now, a lot of times the 4 of Cups, you see this person's looking over here, but he's not looking over here. That's our intuition. The inner voice that we hear all the time, that's giving us insight all the time. We just don't notice it. We don't give validity to it.
Yep.
So what happened is you miss opportunities.
Sometimes. Absolutely. And it's full of something for you. But if you don't know it's there, you don't get that benefit. So you got to know. Yeah, you got to look both ways, right? before you
Yeah,
cross the street.
exactly. And I was
Uh-huh.
sharing with Ali behind the scene, before we came live, that when I first started it, Woo Woo, even for me, it was only supposed to be like once a month. But as Spirit ended up happening, I ended up doing it like two, three a month, the last
Mhm.
two, with various guests. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna run out of these miracle ideas. I
Personal
am
woo woo.
so my big miracle. And what I'm
Uh-huh.
learning is miracles in the little thing, the mundane living.
It is.
We just maybe that's the idea of what miracles, not always like the mystical Mother Mary or it's like not just the butterfly thing. It's just like even
Yep.
with the phone 20 years ago, this would
Yep.
have been a woo-woo thing.
Yep.
Science,
Yep.
technology, it's not always about things the unseen. These are seen.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
um we're gonna start with, and remember for you who's watching, yes, could we both see you. Um when you get an insight, let us know if you don't mind sharing. So, Allie, you
Yeah.
want to start with one miracle to start? Share with us.
Okay. So back, I have had an older brother. He's since passed, but he was 13 years older than I was. And, we didn't grow up together, but we reconnected when we were older. And
Mm,
so, um, but back in, I think it was about 1980, I went out to his house and lived with him and his family for about a month with my little girl. And I got to really know him then and when I was about 25, and I felt like we had some kind of a more adult connection. So I learned that he had a very special song he loved to hear, and it would play, and I'll tell you what it is later, but he would play, he loved it, but it was from 1980. It wasn't a new song.
mm,
When he passed, we had gone to this place in Arizona to walk around, and it had a coffee shop and shops and things like that. And when he was alive, we went there. And we went back there when after he passed, just as a day off to do something before I went back to my home. And I turned to go into a store. And as I opened the door to the store, the song was playing that reminded me of him. And oh, be still my heart. It was like, "Hi, you're here." It was Music Box Dancer. It's a very old song, but it's, dun, 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 dun. It's like that. And the whole song played, and I had tears streaming down my face. And for me, I knew that was his song, and I got goosebumps and, recognition. And it was a miracle. It was really cool. It really
it is a
was.
miracle. And
Yeah.
thankfully, even people who not into the woo,
Mm-hmm.
they're starting to recognize. I do hear people go, "Oh my God, that song or that
Yep.
movie," and things
Yep.
like that. I'm glad, but when you get that chill, that's a whole nother
Ooh.
level. Let me tell you, I don't always
Mm.
get the chill. I can
Yeah.
be like divine spirit guy, make my body get chill. They won't. They're like, "Don't
Yeah.
play with us. That's for a reason." Like you
Yeah.
play the game,
Yeah.
like the spirit, and they're like, "Yeah,
Sure.
whatever."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I get that one side or the back, it's real.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
woo woo, even for me, right? That
Yeah,
woo woo,
it, it,
even for
it
you.
was. I mean, I believe in that. And he was woo woo. My brother was woo woo.
Awesome.
So, I knew it was a message for me. And I knew it was like, I'm okay over here. Don't worry about me anymore. And I didn't. I just knew he was fine. You
Right.
know? Yeah. It was
Yeah.
kind of
Let's see.
nice.
I have three new Oracle deck. I'm gonna
Okay.
pick one card. Tell me which one. Deck one or two or
Two.
three.
Two.
Two.
Mhm.
Okay. This is from. You know how a lot of you may have the tarot from the Chris Ann. She also had an Oracle deck. I haven't even looked at it yet. Sacred
Oh,
Creative
yeah.
Oracle.
That's
Now
beautiful. Yeah.
we're gonna make this collective. What you just heard from Allie, her story, that context. I'm gonna
Hmm.
just shuffle one, and then what
Okay.
you guys in the audience go and do, including Allie and me,
Hmm.
is what added insight you got from that.
Yeah. Yep.
So I got move beyond intention to belief.
Oh, absolutely.
What did you get from
Absolutely.
that?
I have the water carrier, but it says, what really matters, reflect. And so I feel as though it's saying these are the moments that really matter, which is what you said, Sylvia, about the mundane. It doesn't, yeah, and move beyond intention into belief. Yes.
And also,
Beautiful.
I know that the thing about when you work with Ruru, is it real or not? I know, at least for me.
Yep.
And I realize that a lot of time it is real, but sometimes it's
Um,
not. So I get worried about, oh my God, is this one of those moments that is just fake? You know how like sometimes I'll see a picture and I'm like, oh my God, it's an orb. And then you find out it's from the window or whatever. And then what happened? It knocked down the doubt. Like
yeah.
it, no,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
brings up doubt. So
It
then,
brings up doubt.
yeah,
But
then I
yeah.
get cynical. I'm like, yeah, but just because sometimes it's not real, so to speak, you
Yeah.
could dismiss going back to this all the time that is
Yes, you
real.
could. But think about it this way too, Sylvia. It may not have been, quote, an orb that you thought it was, but you noticed something different. And
Mm,
so you looked at something that was seemingly mundane and made a connection with it. So I don't think it's wrong. I don't tend,
interesting.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll share something.
Okay.
One of it is sometime with intuition, I'll get an insight and then I'll play with it, right?
Huh?
And then the insight I had was like, when you're on a road or in the house, look at say a color, and then you'll see it everywhere. It had to do with focus. And then I was
Mhm.
playing this game. I'll go more into it later. And I noticed, then I read a book from Tony Robbins and other people. They were saying the same thing. So a lot of time we pick up this universal thing. It's not
Mhm.
our own per se, but it just helped me to validate, oh, what I was thinking, other people were thinking. So this
Mhm.
is the idea. So all of you right now, all of you right here,
Mhm.
I see all of you literally in the physical, in the comment, but also the one that are lurking and not saying anything. Look around your
Uh-huh.
room. Look around your room right now. Just look around. Okay? Are you looking around,
Mhm.
Aley?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to say one word.
Okay.
Okay, red. You notice you start seeing the red in the room? Unless
Yep.
you're in a very boring room. Okay, now I'm going to say blue.
Oh yeah.
You might see the blue from the pencil, the blue on a notebook,
Yep.
maybe the blue in the cup. Now I'm going to say the word white.
Uh-huh.
You notice the white start popping up?
Right here.
Ooh, I'm really white, especially with the white.
Yeah.
So the point is,
I
and
saw it.
and this is like over 10, 15 years ago. I asked Spirit Guide to remind me of some miracles. And the
Mhm.
point is that it goes back to even the simple thing as practical or the
Yeah,
mundane about this idea of focus. Because
it
there's so
does.
many things around us happening at once, just like this room, so many aspects. So when you start saying a color red, all the red start popping up in the
Pops
room.
out. It's the
It always,
same thing, Sylvia, when you get a new car or you're driving your car and then you start seeing all of the cars that are like yours. Or
yes,
if
I've
if
done
you're
this.
ever pregnant as a woman, you see all the pregnant women first. It's
Right.
kind of like your focus is set.
It's
Right.
been
Right.
there, it's right in front of you, but you don't notice.
That's right. That's right. You know,
So
I'm thinking about something if you don't mind me interrupting. But when we were kids, did you ever play the license plate game?
yes.
Yes. And what
Go
did
ahead,
that
tell me.
do? What did that do? That brought your focus to looking for what it was that was out there, and eventually you'd get all of them, usually, right?
Yeah.
So
You know, it's
that's what it
funny.
reminds
I've done that. Have you guys done that in the audience? Like
Yeah.
I'll do like thinking about
Uh-huh.
love or something, and then I'll see the guy name on the license plate or
Uh-huh.
a love theme. It's so nuts.
Yeah.
And this is actually going to continue with,
Craig's got a great
wait,
example.
let's
Yeah.
see. Okay, first, Warrior Girl said, I agree. It's a friendly reminder that you are in the present, which is present in
It
itself.
is. It's a gift.
Actually,
Yeah.
you know what? You bring up a good point. I didn't realize that. 'Cause a lot of time I'm just like fast and like maybe not always in
Mhm.
the moment. It does bring you in the moment. That's
It really
amazing.
does. It really
So
does.
Craig
This is
said, when my
amazing,
friend
Craig.
Steve
Mhm.
passed, I stopped by
Uh-huh.
Costco for shopping. I ran into a man who looked exactly like Steve. I had to stop him and shake his hand, saying, "You look exactly like my friend Steve." Your
You
friend has
found
a,
the magic, Craig. Yeah, you
has
found the
a funny
magic.
sense of humor, just to trip you
Yeah.
out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have had that happen. My son, I always thought my son was an individual, but he's sort of a heavy set guy. He's got a beard and he's
Right.
bald. I see him everywhere now. but it's not him. But it's just that there's so many men that look like that now in this world, because a lot of men they have a bald head. And I go, oh, it isn't him, but it reminds me of him. And I love that I'm reminded of him. So,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that shows what's in your heart and in your
yeah,
mind as well.
that's right.
And
Yeah.
some people might be like, is that part of the woo-woo? No, but it could be
Could be.
trippy.
Is it special to you? Sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
especially.
Yeah.
And so speaking of cards, I've done that where I start going, just before I even read about that book from other people saying what you focused on, blah, blah, blah. So I was
Hmm.
doing the driving, and first I would say, let's see the red. Yeah, right. That's going to work out.
Hmm.
Suddenly you start seeing the red. So then
Yeah.
I start going, right, then blue. All of you who drive have to try this. You start seeing the blue card. So after a while, I said, my cousin and I, now I'm with my cousin, we're playing this game. I said, I don't know about this. Okay, I want something bright. Oh, wait, I want something pink. So suddenly we see a car come, but it's like reddish pink. And I'm like, no, I want big, bright, Pepto Bismol pink. And I was like, that's not going to happen. Or
Yeah, I know.
this going to happen an hour later to, the universe going to have to conspire it. I kid you
Yep.
not. And even to this day, my cousin talked about this. This is 10, 15 years ago. Think of a school bus, right? So you have the school
Mhm.
bus come to the sides of it. It would bright pink, Pepto Bismol pink.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like Mary Kay pink, that would have been very light pink. But
Right.
Pepto-Bismol pink,
Yeah,
oh
just think,
my
that,
God.
right? And so I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my God. So we kept playing. And I don't know if
Uh-huh.
it was that day. Hi, Jackie. I don't know if it's that day or another time. So
Uh-huh.
I start getting a little cocky. Sometime when I get a little like, I want to see
Overconfident.
yeah, I want to see a big yellow thing. And eventually what happened is on a side road, I saw yellow cranes. They were doing construction. I
Yeah,
wasn't specific,
right. Yeah, you
but,
said something yellow. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
and then I said, okay, I want to see purple, something purple.
Uh-huh.
And it all of a sudden came up a big sign, purple. I was expecting it to be purple, like the word purple,
Right,
but I
but
wasn't
okay.
specific.
Well, I'm glad that Barney didn't come into your view.
That would really freak me out. I'd be like, woo, woo, woo. And then
Absolutely.
this is really funny. Then I start telling my cousin, all right, if this is for real, I want to see something that has a heart. I love Pauline. Yeah, I'm like, this not gonna happen, or this gonna take a while.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Guess what? Can you guys guess?
Must have happened. Must have happened.
On this side, when you get off the exit,
Yeah.
somebody put like a cardboard type of thing, and I wish I took a picture of it. Could it sound like
Really?
I'm making it up? It
Yeah.
says, I heart Pauline.
It's like when the gangs do the graffiti, or people do the graffiti, but this was a post like a box, you say?
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
So I have a theory about that. So this
Okay.
might just have to do with the practical, maybe the idea of law of attraction, or it could be because I'm open to it. My cousin and I are open to it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
But
That's part of it. But it also might be future memory. There's such a thing as future memory.
Really,
And
what's
so
that?
it might be, well, it's, what deja vu is. It's when you see something and you think you've seen it before, right? That in the past. But future memory is knowing what's coming. And so it's like a psychic thing, but it pops into your mind. Okay, I wanted to say this, and it's already sitting there waiting for you to come to it. But I really do believe belief is a lot of it. Yeah, manifestation, Teresa.
Yeah, but
that's right.
You know what,
Yeah.
Teresa? But how come other things don't manifest that? I mean, and I think
do you believe in them? But do you believe?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, the mystical, like when we're thinking Mother Mary and Jesus.
Yeah.
As open as I am to that, when I joined this organization and they have a lot of mystical experience, I noticed that I was fighting with it. Is this for real? This not for real. I need evidence. The honey coming out of this picture, what's behind it. And I'm into this. Because even though I believe in Jesus, or I see spirit guides, I see spirit, I can feel them and all that, but they came in a physical physical. Like Mother Mary, all of you, I don't care how woo-woo you are. Mother Mary came in the physical through your front door. It would
Yeah,
blow your mind out.
sure it would. Sure it would.
Even
Uh,
E.T., like I believe it, but
yeah.
E.T. came
If they
in.
come knocking, you have any sugar?
You know
Yeah, I
what I
get it.
mean?
Yeah,
So it,
I
it
do.
makes me wonder about that manifestation thing you mentioned, Teresa.
Hmm.
It might
Hmm.
be because those things I believe. Because how come
Yeah.
other things it doesn't happen?
You're going to have to start believing in it. It's very interesting because I'll give you an example of something my husband used to say when I was began teaching. I was teaching only composition, writing. That's it. And my husband would at the college level, and the full-time people could teach literature classes. That's how it worked. And so my husband used to say, "This is my wife. She's a professor of literature." And I said, "Honey, I'm not." But I was 2 years later. And I never thought that would happen because I wasn't full time. So sometimes other people can bring in your magic as well, I think, and bring in the woo. They believe in you enough. Yeah. Yeah.
So my channel, for those who don't know me, is Colorful Foresight. And for those of you who don't know Aley, you can see on her under her name, it's Heart and Soul Connected.
Right. One word. Yep. Thank
You
you.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
And he really believed it too.
He believed it. And I kept saying, honey, it's,
Yeah.
and because, but I wanted to do it. It was in my, I really did, but it was his belief in me. I think that made me sort of believe in it myself eventually. And then it happened. So I think it can.
So
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
woo-woo idea, um, bringing into mundane, right? We got the real woo-woo, which
Yeah.
we have story, but then
Yeah.
we have like how it's in our life all the time. Like
Right.
sometimes, especially when I'm depressed and all that, things are not going well, and like poor me and all that.
Hmm.
Doing this it woo-woo even for me made me realize how often we get miraculous thing in the average thing. So it's true. It's really interesting. Yeah, that's what
It's
I wanted
wonderful
to
that
do.
you picked this for yourself, Sylvia, because if you don't always believe in it, or you think it's something that's just woo-woo or special, then you may not get it as much. But now you've invested yourself into doing it with other people. And it's just bringing you more and more and more because you're saying now this was once a month and now it's every couple of weeks at the most. So yeah,
And
you're bringing all that to yourself.
well, yeah,
Mhm.
because it's making me go, oh, how many miracles I've had in my life. Some people miracles like having a
Yeah.
roof over their head, which I'm like,
Yeah.
what? That you know?
Yeah.
But
If you
yeah,
haven't had one, though, it is a miracle. So yeah.
it's a miracle.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring up with what somebody said in the comment. I love
Okay.
it.
Oh,
Ask
yes,
again.
you're it. Okay. You
You want to
asked a
read it?
question. Sure. 5 years ago, I asked a question and wanted a definite answer. If I see 5 white cars together, it's a yes. Well, over 50 cars in a parking lot, then 10 cars at the stop sign, and another parking lot 15. You got your answer, I think. And I had that happen to me about where to move. And I've talked about this on my show. We couldn't decide whether we were going to move to New Mexico or Washington State and we said, this is what we want to see within a certain period of time. So we'll know where to go, which one to go to. And we'll know it by this thing happening. And within 10 minutes, that thing happened and told us. And I picked up the phone. It was a phone call. And my niece said, pack your bags, Aunt. We're moving to Washington State. So I knew that they were thinking of going there, but I didn't know they had already planned on it. They moved here for a while. And then when she said I took it to mean we are too. And
Right.
we did. Never look back. Yeah. It
You
was
did
wonderful.
too?
Yeah,
You
we
did?
did. We're here in Washington. Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know what's funny? I happened to randomly pick a card, and this goes with your story, which
Oh,
letting go of
oh,
early
wow. Yeah.
interference
Yeah.
and time constraint. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we put a what do you call it, assumption around it or a
Right.
time thing, but the
Yep.
universe,
Yep.
and that might
Yep.
maybe get in the way of miracles as well. This
Well,
idea.
it could. I pulled the card Vision Quest. And so I think that when a Native American goes on a vision quest, they go out to find the answer to something. They go out and try to listen to what the universe wants them to do. And that's exactly what this is. It's allowing the universe to direct you for your highest good.
And it makes sense because seeing
Yeah.
how our example, how quickly it comes, and
Mhm.
I'm sure you all heard of that. You hear about people talk about resistance. There's
Yeah.
something in the way that's blocking it, which is proving so. Cause I've had like where I prayed for like a relationship, right?
Uh-huh.
And the universe will bring me somebody, but I somehow
You
delay
weren't
it.
specific. You weren't specific enough.
Well, it's not that. I
Oh,
was
oh,
getting in a way. I got the answers, but I was
okay.
delaying it because of my trauma, my
Okay. Okay.
resistance.
You were resisting it. Okay.
And what
Yeah.
happened is I pushed it away. So here I am going, oh my God, why are you not bringing it? Meanwhile, they're probably like, hello, we did bring it to you.
I'm over here.
Yeah, you got to work on these problems. Kind of remind
Yeah.
me of that story we all heard, but I know I'm going to butcher it. Where you hear the story about this man did a flood or something.
Yes.
And so
Mhm.
he prayed to God, like, please, get me
Send me
help.
help. Yeah.
Right. I don't
Yeah.
remember which one is which, but let's say a helicopter came and they're
Mhm.
like, and he's like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm,
God's gonna help me out.
yeah, yeah. And then the next minute, there's a guy who comes in a rowboat and he's
Right.
like, I'm fine. I'm waiting,
Yeah.
for, and then a third thing, I don't remember what it was. Same thing. So he's drowned.
Yeah.
And he goes to heaven and he goes to God, well, why didn't you save me? He goes, I send you a helicopter, a boat, or whatever the third one is, and
Right.
you
Right.
denied it.
What do you want from me? I'm doing the best I can.
What I'm learning from today actually is this idea of manifestation, which I never thought of
Good.
it.
Good.
If we really wanted to and go, okay, I would love to see Mother Mary
Yeah.
in the physical. That means
Right.
on an unconscious level, I'm resisting it somehow.
Well, there's something about having a gift. It's the same with people who opened up to their gifts when they were kids and they got afraid of them. I don't want
Hmm.
to see that anymore, so they
Yeah,
shut it down. And I think all of us have a fear, like you said, if an ET rang the bell, and you open the door and there it is. I mean, you believe in him, but it's unknown. What do I do now?
yeah.
So yeah, I think
So
so.
anything come to your mind, anybody? When
Yeah,
you have any miracle stories you want to share with us? Go ahead.
please do. Please do.
So, another one that came to me is I shared this before because we're speaking about Mother Mary, right? So,
Uh-huh.
and I think I even shared it on your what did that chat? I keep forgetting. You do it every week. What's the name
Oh,
of
the
it?
dreams,
Dream.
visions, and appearances.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's one of my
Mhm.
favorite, by the way, even though I can't remember the title. Okay. Yes,
Mhm.
that's what it is. I totally, Teresa, you're still
Yes, Teresa. Yep.
on that. So
That's
I
right.
I remember this in share. I think I shared it, but I don't remember. What happened is I'm 16 years old. Now, 16 years old, even though I've always had like feeling, the inkling, and always been into the woo woo, I didn't really get into the woo woo until like 20. So
Okay.
before that was not in my realm. Remember that the bookstore then were
Oh
very
yeah.
small, right?
Nothing.
They didn't have the internet.
Yep.
So it's like you just actually people before the internet and all that, they really were going by sign and synchronicity. They would end up in places that were
Uh-huh.
meant to be. You didn't have like all this access now. So at
Hmm.
16 years old, I was at my friend's house and I was sleeping over. And it was in a living room and they
Hmm.
had the couch or a bed there. And you know how like most living room you have like some kind of people have some kind of like saint or like some kind of a statue in their living
Yeah.
room. So
Hmm.
it was in the dark, and she had the Virgin Mary head. It's like that's the way it used to be, like that.
Hmm.
So, not being really aware how things work, I used to feel like a lot of funny stuff, but I used to think with like nightmares. And I remember I used to pray to Virgin Mary, like you know, I used to say the Hail Mary, and it would go away. Could have just been my spirit guy, and I would freaked out. But
Hmm.
anyway, the
Hmm.
statue, remember, it's dark. All of a sudden, that thing glowed. It was like wavy and it was glowing. But remember, it's not in my concept at
Yeah.
all.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So I remember just going, one of those dark in the night, like, oh.
Yes.
So,
What have I done? Oh my God.
like, oh my God, I have an active imagination, right? So
Yep.
like 10 years ago, this is back in the mid 80s.
Mhm.
So 10 years ago, so I reconnected with that friend and we were
Uh-huh.
talking on Facebook in the messenger. And I go, that Virgin Mary thing you had in the living room, one night it went really alive. It really freaked me out. And I used to always feel funny in your apartment. She shared with me that apartment was kind of haunted, but not like in a scary way.
Right.
But
Right.
not something her and I would talk about. At that age, it was about
Okay.
boys and
Yeah.
things. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
like, we
Uh-huh.
didn't talk about spiritual stuff. And
Mhm.
also, she said that Virgin Mary head went to, because she was Korean, they used to go to the church with it or something. It would like, we
Oh.
call those things that
Oh.
come alive. There's
Oh.
that saying, like
Yeah.
certain. So I was like, where is it now? Like where? It's like they have it hidden or something. I was like, oh my
Oh.
God, I started making this stuff up. So what
Right.
happened is even like doing it woo even for me, I realized how, and that's including all of you,
Mhm.
how often we get them and we don't
Yes.
remember it or
I
we
don't
dismiss
remember
it.
what it was. Yeah,
Kind of
absolutely.
kind of going back with that 4 cup,
Yep.
not
Yep.
recognizing it,
Yep.
the
I just was
opportunity.
talking about the 4 of Cups the other day too.
Did you?
My feeling was you're not looking for in the right place for the answer, kind of like the 4 of Cups. And I'm not a tarot reader, but that
No,
one really
yeah.
speaks to me. That one speaks to me. Yeah.
I
Yep.
I'm telling you, this
Mhm.
4 cup is getting
Yep.
a message from me. I remember I was thinking about that, and then
Yep.
one of my friend, the Tipsy Tea Leaf Oracle, she started talking. She get a message. How a lot of time spirit guide try and communicate with us, and we're not listening.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yep.
And what we're
Yep.
finding out in the mundane, they're in front of us, and we're still
Right.
not seeing it.
Right. They're knocking us on top of the head with a big bat,
I
saying,
mean,
"Wake up."
you probably have your brother next to you right now going, "Goo-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo," and you don't
Well,
even
it's
know.
funny because Carolyn Booker, who sees ghosts, she sees them all the time playing with my tree. He hits these things and plays it with my tree. So
Now, who can say it's not real? Like sometimes it is
yeah,
our imagination. Look,
yeah,
I could
I
say
know.
it sometimes it's imagination, but
Yeah,
once that veil keep getting thinner and thinner,
yeah,
and it's like they're right in front of us or around us. We just don't
yeah.
know.
We
So I'm
don't.
gonna bring up some stuff that's in the
Yes,
audience.
please do.
We
Yeah,
got Craig.
yeah.
I stopped watching Psychic because I was worried about Trump. Then my mom passed. I asked for help and met my guy, Clara. This I consider a miracle.
It is.
Craig, I think I've seen you. I hope you know about the Linda G, the Meldor.
Yeah.
I hope you know about
He
them.
does. He
Okay, that
does.
really helped me a lot
Well,
during this
the other
time.
thing I think I consider a miracle or meant to be is that we've found all of each other here because of that. Maybe we all had a plan before we came here, but because Trump and we didn't want, we were like, what are we going to do? We all came rushing here like in 2020 or whatever. And then we found each other and it's like, wow, we can all be together in a
Yeah.
different way, but really
I
cool.
remember you and I was sharing. I'm not sure it's live or one like I
Mhm.
was in the comment and you were just talking, but this escaped. Hold on.
Okay.
This is where we gotta let it go, but it was good. I know it's good. I hate that. It was
I know.
juicy. Okay, so let's go with the next one.
Okay. Yes, Warrior
A
Girl's got
couple
one.
years
It's
ago, from Warrior Girl. A couple
okay.
years ago, I had a dream 2A, and about one of my ancestral line on a sun night. 3 days later, a
Later.
lady who certified a packet record consult shared a picture of that on Monday. Let her know. Wait.
She's
The
got a
correct
second
thing.
part to it. Yeah, she's got a second part to it. There you go.
Would be painting for them. She had never before. On the third night, we woke up at the same time. For me, an angel was in my room and she painted through the ashes for me.
The
I got my
Akash. Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
The ashes. I don't know. I just
The
made that
Akash.
up. The
The Akashic
ashes.
record. Yeah. Achoo.
Achoo. I got my answer, but not how I asked. That's nuts.
And that's important too, Warrior Girl, because it's how you formulate your question sometimes that gives you an answer. It's like, well, that's not exactly what I wanted, but that's what I asked for.
Well, it kind of reminded me of like when I was asking for the purple and the yellow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to
Yeah.
be specific,
Yes.
really specific.
But you did see it said purple and you recognized that's what I asked for.
Oh yeah.
So that was okay. That was
Yeah, but
okay. Yeah.
I think I wanted the word purple, And they
Right.
kind of like the spirit guide, but you didn't say purple. You just said
Mhm.
purple. So I'm
Yeah.
like, next time I have
Yeah.
to go, I want to see the word purple.
Yes. Absolutely.
I guess that goes
Absolutely.
with the guy, or I don't know, with the job and all that. So thought,
Yeah.
oh, wrong. Okay. The community is such a blessing. I know I had a story for that, but I don't remember. Damn it. Oh, I know
There
what
it
it
is.
is.
There it
I
is. Okay.
remember. So I remember, we're all intuitive. So maybe it's a
Mhm.
common sense. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious to me, but for some reason it's not. And I remember when there was Third Eye Champagne, she was 2017. Then she introduced Linda G, and then all the others came. But what they did was validate what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what
Yeah.
happened is I created the channel 2 years ago, and I did some politics. But the problem was I watched too many people who does
Yeah.
political
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah.
So I
True.
don't know if it's mine
Right.
or theirs. So I
Yeah.
don't really do it as often because
Mhm.
I'd rather let them do it. They're an expert. They're really accurate, more or
Sure.
less. Like anything above 75 is pretty accurate because you got free will, and then
Oh,
you got
yeah. There's always a
things
percentage
are
that it
always
doesn't.
changing. So
Yeah.
without them, I would probably freak the F out, honestly. So I'm
I
glad.
have to tell you that somebody told me that they had somebody that I met that has a website, excuse me, told me that they had a channel on YouTube in 2015 for woo-woo stuff,
Yeah.
readings and all that. And they were laughed right out of here. And people trolled them, and there was no room for any of that here at that time. And so kind of reminds me of my astrology chart told me in 1985 that I would eventually be working from home and that I would interact with a lot of different people. They would come to my house. And
And
I'm
you're
like,
like, yeah, right?
and I also was told in another reading that I would be on TV.
And you're
And
like,
I'm like, right. But it has to do with catching up to the what's going on in the world. So sometimes you can't know. You know what I mean? Yeah.
well, I would think like some of the Nostradamus and stuff. I mean, they're predicting hundreds of years. You can only read,
Uh-huh.
and you and I talked about this. It might have been you, and me, and it goes with see how Divine brought it where she mentioned it. I couldn't remember.
Uh-huh.
Um, I had so many readers. You remember me? I told you that I had my sister who had 5 readers, and they were like
Uh-huh.
the best 5 readers ever.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
get like 50 or 60 or 100 because it's been like 30 years. And
Right.
they were all like fumbling, bumbling, never came true or half-assed came true. And
Uh-huh.
even the one lady that I introduced to my family, and she was so on the ball with them, like on the ball,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the husband, the. But with me, it didn't come to me. So I'm like, what the hell? I keep attracting all this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe that I'm in I get in the way because sometimes we get in the way and all that.
Yeah.
But this one lady, it goes back with what Ali, Ali was sharing. She told me in let's say 95 or something. Her name's Madeline Aslan. And she was looking at my hand. She's like, oh my God, I see you doing videos. And I'm like, 1995 videos were
Right.
like
Yeah.
TV,
But you could hold the video and it was like this, right? Yeah. Not on your phone or anything like that, even.
no.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
technically you can be seen on TV because on
Yes.
YouTube,
Yes. That's what I mean. Yeah. Even
and
though
we
it's
don't
not,
know.
people
Which
can watch it on their TV.
I knew
Yeah.
exactly what you meant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, maybe some of these readers were accurate.
Maybe they
Maybe
weren't
showing up
crazy after
25
all.
years later. And here I am like, none of them ever come true. Only one that came true was the one that was like negative news. I'm like, I only get the negative one come true. And what's great about the negative is that it made me go, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you otherwise. So I went to like healers and different
Mhm.
things. Sometimes the
Mhm.
negative will motivate you to
Yeah,
do something
it
else.
will. It will. I
So
remember somebody saying, if I tell you you're going to fall off a horse tomorrow and you don't go on a horse, then you're not going to fall off the horse. So I always like that because there is amount of free will that we do have. That
right.
this is just the energy of today, right now. Maybe even if you make a change, it wouldn't be for tomorrow. So yeah, very
But
definitely.
here's the negative, and this had nothing to do with miracle, but I had, you know how you have the, and I remember when I was young, when I first started out, I used to blurt out, "You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that." I don't do that anymore. First of all, it's not my business. Second of
Right.
all, they didn't ask. But one of them went up to my cousin, one of those people who walk on the street, because sometimes they're like accurate. They told us
Mhm.
she was gonna die at 27 or something.
Ooh.
So that year, I mean, she would freak out. Thank God she didn't die. But guess what? I think she's 45 now. She had a tumor in the middle of
Aneurysm.
her head. But it's a
Oh.
type of tumor because they grow very slow. So
Yep.
they keep
Yep.
track of it.
Okay.
So sometimes they see things, but they interpretate. Sometimes they're just wrong and it's
Oh,
rude.
absolutely. Our interpretation may not be exactly correct. That's right. Yeah.
But anyway,
Mhm.
going back to miracles. So the
Yes.
fun woo-woo miracle, we're finding out how mundane it is, but it might also be like, how do we believe it? Because again, I told you, I'm experiencing now where it's very woo-woo.
Mhm.
And I have a hard time with it. I'm talking about like the honey that goes through the pictures, like the vine bee and stuff.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
didn't realize because I'm all open, I'm all about it.
Mhm.
How much
Mhm.
programs I have or fear. Like if you talk about ETs, right? We've been seeing that on TV more and more.
Yep.
And we know that they've been around, but for some reason, maybe the ETs are like, enough of you trying to hide us, yada yada yada. So suddenly, 3 years ago, Pentagon was like, oh, maybe there's some
Oh,
UAP, and
yeah. They've been going
like
on
we
forever.
found out.
Yep.
But
Yep.
my
Don't
thing
believe
is,
what you see. You're not seeing what you believe. Yeah. It's
right. But
crazy.
here's the
Yeah.
thing. Let's be honest. If you
Mhm.
had an ET friend that showed up your front door, the physical. I don't care
Yeah.
how open you are. You're gonna your pants maybe.
Yep.
Maybe not. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm a fan. I want your autograph. But I'm just saying.
Especially if he says ET phone home, then you know.
Right. You could have some cool dude. He just like roll with it. Can I
Uh-huh.
you? You know. So
Yeah.
any
I get
what
it.
else
I
what
get
else
it.
everybody has in this comment? Time
I
have changed
hear.
our ability to teach and learn the woo-woo.
Yeah. It
If
has.
I miss
Like
anybody,
like Sylvia said, even the bookstores, they carry much more of a section for New Age or even religious or tarot or all that. And then we have the ability through here and in metaphysical stores in person that you can go to and go to classes and things. So yeah, we've
yeah.
got more access.
In fact,
Absolutely.
you don't even have stores now. You have to go online.
A
And
lot of times.
and
Yeah.
I half of you on the community have like hundreds of decks. They did not have that before, especially
I know.
Oracle. And
That's
and
very
it's like
true.
you go on YouTube, feels like everybody doing it. And I expect all my relatives to be doing it. They're not. I'm like, everybody has an Oracle deck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's awesome.
Care
Yeah.
Bear said they see a tower, it comes. Oh, did I miss something?
She was talking about the head. So the
Oh
fact that she had that thing on her head, she needed to know that that was there, and she may not have even put two and two together with her growth or whatever it was. And it's awful if people see the tower in the reading and they go, "Whoa," or the death card, even though the death card doesn't really mean that it's physical death. People go, oh my God, it's scary for them.
it
Yeah.
reminds me of the idea. I love being with like-minded people like you.
Hmm.
Everybody here. But the truth is, we have it too like-minded. You don't learn to be with diversity. What happened is everybody becoming like-minded, and nobody it's becoming less about. And what's great about having family who totally not about this, even though they like it,
Uh-huh.
they're even a different political side to me.
Hmm.
It because if I go by the media or just hang out with my own people,
Hmm.
I'm limited.
You are limited. We all are. Hmm. Hmm.
So the tower kind of
It
goes
does
to the
open your
tower.
mind a bit. Yeah. Yeah,
With
you're
the
right.
like reading the tarot, getting the
Hmm.
bad news. So
Right. Yeah.
like disagreeing with people could be like a bad news. It's all related. I think sometime like this, so just be with it.
Uh-huh.
But it teaches us like, oh, what can I get from that? What can I
Yeah.
understand from this? Is
Yeah.
it walk? Like I had somebody told me, you don't walk, you don't start walking, you're gonna have vascular issues. And
Uh-huh.
she was surprised. I was like, okay, I better start walking.
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
took it like, and if you took 5 years ago, I might have been like, oh my God, it's the tower. But I've learned to be like, oh, you can see like
What
this.
good can come from it? Yeah. What good
Yeah.
can come from it? Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
Arlene makes a good point. She says,
where
it's
is
been
she?
hard because it's on 12:45. It says, or 3:45 your time. It's been a challenge for me to accept the woo-woo because of my religious teachings. And she's still learning to be open-minded. There's a lot of people, especially people in the Catholic religion, who were told their whole lives this is sinful and all that other stuff. And so you are not alone, Arlene. You should be proud of yourself, though, because you are open-minded. And you can, in other words, the old saying, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. It's like, the bathwater may not be in your venue, but there's still you there, and you can still learn and grow together, and without being, and just pick and choose what works for you, which is very important.
I was like in a closet, even though people knew me. First of all,
Uh-huh.
at 20 years old, being in my house, I'm still under my parents. I had to hide the tarot card. And then my mother
Mm-hmm.
would be like, I know you're doing that stuff. Could you hear the, you know? And then I wasn't comfortable with the woo woo. And then maybe just the last few years being in the public like this. Meanwhile, I have
Mm-hmm.
friends who've been like open since everybody's in a different journey, but
Yeah.
religion definitely would do it because even
Mm-hmm.
now I'm into like a lot of the Hindu culture and things like that, especially spirituality. And
Mm-hmm.
I live with my mom still at home, and she learned to accept it, but it took like 25, 30
Sure.
years.
Sure.
But I also try not to, I still put like Mother Mary image or Jesus to make her feel comfortable because for her, it must be a little tough to have a daughter who's not into the Catholic stuff. You
Well,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
I would imagine so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And also,
yeah.
yeah, right. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see what else. Yeah, they call it the devil work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I like that hypnicity. It's actually a mind. A mind is like an umbrella. But I also like minds are like parachutes. They only function when open. And that's another
Mm.
one I really like. Yeah. 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 I have one more.
I didn't see Milu because I saw at 2000 Milu came after for me, Craig. I was
Okay.
2017 was third eye, but who cares?
Yeah.
Everybody just came and it helped a lot of us. If you notice the
Hmm.
resistance when you look at the new things with interest and then see it, you want to step it. You
That's
know what,
right.
Teresa? You
Yeah.
tell me that now, I might be able to get it. But if you told me
Uh-huh.
that even a year ago, 2 or 3 years ago, go
A
right for
lot of
your head.
people are like that, Sylvia. Yeah, they're not ready yet. And it can't work unless you're ready, at least
Yeah.
to be see what you want to accept. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I don't like to see too much ahead for myself, good or bad, because I feel like I'm looking out for it. It's hard to tune that out. I just pray I find out what I need to at the right time. You know what? With the negative news, yeah, that might be challenging.
So I have one more share for you.
Yay!
When my son was about 2 years old, he just was this really he's always been just a light in my life. And so I said to my then husband, I'm going to go upstairs and do some meditating. And he said, okay. I said, I hope I can reach my spirit guides. This was in 87.
That's
I went
amazing.
upstairs, I laid down on the bed, and I connected with somebody, and I could hear them tell me their name. And I said that I didn't like that particular name because it had a bad association with somebody else. And I
Hmm.
said, is it all right if I cut it down? And so the spirit guide said, of course, you can call me anything you want. So I said, thank you. So I got up, I went downstairs, and my son had been sitting playing cards, in the
Oh,
living room. And he looks up at me and he says, hi, Mom, where's Darla?
oh my gosh.
That was the name.
Oh
And
my
I'm
God.
like, what did you say? And he
That's
said,
really physical.
"We-"
That's literally physical. The unseen using your son.
yeah,
Wow.
he knew her name, obviously. So he must
Yeah.
have seen her before. But even now it gives me the chills. And I'm like, wow, because he didn't hear anything. I wasn't talking out loud. There was no mention of it. It was all in my head. And it was immediate for him.
And
And
that it's
yeah.
funny how spirit, especially you are on that path because even the psychic long time ago saw where you're
Mhm.
gonna be on some TV and all that. But this is a sign that spirit give us all the time. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of signs that spirit tells us something. Wait.
Very
We
small.
follow, like we believe, and then we
Mhm.
find out it's not real. But you said it's not wrong.
Yeah.
But that's life. That's just life. Not just
Absolutely.
because it didn't.
Mhm.
I have
Mhm.
a cousin who don't believe in this stuff, but she'll entertain me. We'll do like oracles
Yep.
card or whatever.
Well,
So
wait
she
till
has.
you go over to the other. Wait till she goes over to the other side.
Oh
Just
my
you wait.
God.
If she went before, I had a friend who was a staunch Catholic, a staunch white supremacist type racist person who he wasn't. He was a friend, but he was a colleague. He was a
Yeah.
professor, and he was brilliant. But I didn't like those aspects about him at all, and I would tell him so. Well, he passed, and he knew I was a Buddhist, and he came through at a psychic reading that I had, and he said, "Oh my God," through the reading, "you were right about everything. You were right. I was wrong."
That's a fun
And
miracle. That literally goes with the title.
yeah, it was, and I was like, well, you had to wait. He had to get over there because it's all knowing state. And you can look back and go, oh dear, I didn't do the very best job I could have, Yeah, it's amazing. So,
As
yeah.
we wrap up the video, I just want to bring up like, what do you find that even though we're showing so many different ways that we are receiving the woo woo,
Mhm,
woo woo,
mhm.
that to me is fantastical woo woo a little bit.
Yes.
Like with the
Yep,
sun as
yep,
well. And then we
yep,
shown how it showed up in our mundane. Like life
yep.
is a miracle. Probably God be like, you darn, everything's a miracle. I mean,
I
you
know.
could see, everything's around you, but
Yeah.
whatever. But
Mhm.
what one thing you will leave today about that it's like it woo woo even for you? Because there's certain things I'm like, yeah, I could see that. I like when my friend validate from the other side, but you could
Yeah.
say it woo woo even for me as we speak right now. I'm trying to think of one right now. I would say, you know what, woo woo even for me? What I love about this work, I think you guys talk about how you open your mind.
Yeah.
More I go, you know what, I don't really know anything. After 30 years, the arrogant
That's
comes
what
in a little bit.
Plato, that's what Socrates and Plato said. All I know is I don't know
Right.
anything.
Because I learned so much today. Like this could be like another woo-woo channel. We're talking about mystical, we're talking about this and that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
learned so much,
Uh-huh.
and that's woo-woo even for me.
Uh-huh.
What, you know?
But
So
you're right. When you first came on, you said because you come on so much and you have to sort of manifest or let people know about a woo-woo thing, it can't always be really big. But that taught you that the smaller things matter just as much as those big things do.
and here's the thing, I have a feeling the more we make it where it really is the mundane, that's when we
Mhm.
can see the big stuff, the obvious.
Mhm. Yes.
That's gonna be like the ETs, and we're talking about Linda G. I don't know. We'll find out by the end of the year. She saw that they're gonna be increased of Mother Mary apparition for
Oh,
2024. Now I don't know. She's just rolling with it. I've been following her. Oh, I didn't get that book yet.
it's on Amazon, everybody. It's on
Oh,
Amazon. I got it today. It only is right now available in softback. You can get hardback later, but I don't think it might matter to you. I haven't started reading it, but pretty excited
amazing.
about it. So
That's amazing. But
yeah,
she never mentioned it in other years. I've been following her for a few
I
years.
know.
So
Yeah,
to me, for her to say that,
yep,
and from what I know what's going on, maybe
yep.
this is why it's woo woo. We gotta acknowledge the woo woo that's around us all the time in order to embrace the big one.
Yep.
It
That's
opens
right.
up, you know?
That's right. Well, Teresa says everything's a layered onion. There's always more to learn. I love
Always.
it. I love
And
it.
I used to
Yeah.
hate that. I'd be like, oh my God, I want it now. I want the answer now. But now it's getting to a point like, wow, it gets more interesting,
Oh, Linda says in May she's going to start appearing. Mother Mary. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Even
Yeah.
May? See, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like say May, but
Yeah,
hey,
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but are we gonna be ready? I'm gonna be like, oh my God.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up. It was nice meeting you all.
Yeah.
After, if you get any insight or anything, please comment under Heart and Soul Connected or under mine, Colorful
Yeah.
Foresight. Could it be really interesting to know? So thank you very
Mhm.
much, Aley.
Oh, thank you, Sylvia. I had a great time. Always do with you. Thank you. Everybody, thank you. Awesome.